Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another rover, and this one is called the Rover Glacier V3, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a small block, fairly large rover that features a bunch of batteries, a bunch of hydrogen engines, and even a flipping mechanic using gyroscopes just in case you get into a bit of a pickle. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the Glacier V3 is 586 small blocks using no mods and no DLC packs. We can see here all the information about it, including its block size, its actual true block size at the bottom there, and its PCU count. So we'll give this thing a thumbs up, which I already have. We'll move all the way around to the very front. We'll have a quick look around the outside, a quick look at the small interior. Then we'll drive around for a bit to see how the Glacier rover handles the ice on this planet. All the way over to here. So yeah, it's coming all the way over to the very front. This is what we get. We've got ourselves some white steel blocks which make up the main body of the ship. Just below that we've got some blast or edge blocks just to have a little bit of bump protection. Make sure you're not going to damage those suspensions sitting behind it. If we were to move all the way around onto the side here, we'll see first of many batteries to power this thing. We've got a bunch of large ones, we've got a bunch of small ones, as well as some hydrogen engines just in case you need to recharge them. If we were to move all the way up and above past our batteries, we've got a bunch of glass window blocks that allow us to peer inside the rover. We've got two rover seats, and you might be able to make out a survival kit sitting in the background, and a bunch of other useful stuff. Along the side here we've got two manual Gatling guns, one on each side, for you to say deter any kind of enemies coming towards you. It's going to be very difficult to aim this with how spread apart they are, but you can just shoot it towards them and hopefully they'll back off. But if they do start to come closer to you, we've got a turret on top there for automated firepower. Yes, continue around towards the very back, we can see some hydrogen tanks for those hydrogen engines. We can see conveyors linking everything together, and right over here we've got some cryopods for a quick little recharge while we're on the ground. Yes, we've got two of these right next to each other. We can see an atmospheric thruster sitting in the middle to give us a nice boost forwards just in case we need to get up a hill and it's not doing a good enough job. Just come around to the very back before we continue around underneath. So at the back here, we've got ourselves a connector to recharge this thing up with hydrogen, ammunition for the guns, and anything else you've collected to offload it. We've got an antenna and ore detector so we can go out and scout ore patches. And there's a doorway, which is a double door, to make sure you don't lose any precious oxygen on the inside. So we come through here, and that's how we get to the rover seats. Just coming back out of there and starting to move down just a little bit, we can see how our suspension has been held up against the body. We've got some more blast or edge blocks. We've got some more of our white steel blocks. If we were to drop all the way down, we'll see even more hydrogen tanks lining the bottom there. We can see some more gyroscopes to help with the flip maneuver. And there's our cryopods we just saw. Another gyroscope, even more hydrogen tanks. Some more wheel suspensions, there is our hydrogen engines with more tanks right behind them. There's our batteries, another gyroscope. And then towards the front there, there's another atmospheric thruster, more batteries, and once again a gyroscope. If you were to move all the way up and above and look down, this is what we get. There are our batteries, there's our lovely glass windows showing us the interior. Then moving towards the back there, we've got a spotlight on both sides, a laser antenna just in case we need it, and there's our turret sitting on the top. And there we go, that is it for the outside of the Rover Glacier V3. It's very simple and it's very nice if you are looking for something on the more larger scale things of a small block rover. So yes, we've got plenty of wheels on there, so if we do lose one, it's not the end of the world. We've got plenty of power going all the way along this thing, and a little bit of defense, and of course a survival kit to respawn on, which is always a handy thing to have on a rover if you are going away from your base for a nice long time. But now what I can do is just grab hold of my character, and we can come across all the way over to this gap right here. Here's our hydrogen engines, and we can just about crouch and come underneath our wheel suspension block. There we go, to access those cryopods. So you can carry two prisoners in here if you want to, or just use it for a quick recharge if you're out manually mining. If we were to come all the way around towards the very back, here's our doorway to get inside. We all have to use a jetpack to get up inside it. Yes, once we're inside, we can now close this up behind us either by clicking the door or clicking the button. There we go, and that's all that button does. It simply just closes up the door. And there we go. There's an air vent just to make sure we don't waste any kind of oxygen. And then looking up, this is going to be for our Gatling turret to manually put ammunition in if we need to. Yeah, just coming across over to here and making my character walk so we don't just suddenly fly through the window. We've got some cargo containers on the side here to store a few bits and bobs inside. We can also see an air vent sitting right there, which is how we're going to suck in any kind of oxygen from the outside and bring it inside, which is a very nice thing to have. And turning around and closing up that doorway, this is our survival kit where we can have a quick recharge or respawn on. Looking up, we've got a fantastic view all the way around us at the lovely Skybox, which will also be in the description below if you are interested in it. And then looking towards the front, this is what we get. So we've got two rover seats. The one on the right has nothing going on with it, and the one on the left has everything to control all the stuff. We can just sort of walk past here and get a look down near our wheels. And I believe I've just got myself jammed in there. There we go. We can activate our jetpack and sort of come towards the front here if we want to get a more clearer view of what's going on. So coming over to this seat, like I said, there's nothing going on with it. Then coming out of that and heading into this seat, these are the controls we get. And this is one of the first designs that uses all the tabs for, well, basically just a Gatling gun. There we go. But anyway, tab number 1 is our main control tab, where we've got number 1 for our Gatling guns to fire them manually straight forwards. Yes, it's going to be very difficult to hit stuff, so like I said, it's more about deterring the enemy coming towards you. Number 2 and number 3 is for our wheel power, so we can turn that up and down if we need to. And number 4 is for our atmospheric thrusters underneath to boost us forwards. If it was just to leave the parking brake on and move forwards, you'll see that we are using a fair amount of power there. We go from 3 days to 5 hours, but turning off the thrusters, we are perfectly fine. So there we go. Number 5 and number 6 is to put our batteries large and small into auto or recharge. Number 7 is for our hydrogen engines to turn them on and off. So there we go, we make them be quiet for a second and then turn them back on. Number 8 is for our auto flip system, where we're going to do this right now. And after a short delay, we're going to very, very carefully flip ourselves over. So if you do end up flying down a mountainside and ending up on your roof, you can use this to flip yourself over. There we go, and it looks like we just damaged the gun on top. So we can't use number 9, which was simply manual control over the turret. Coming to tab number 2, we then got once again controls for our Gatling guns and then all the stuff for our wheels, but we generally don't need to touch them, so I'm going to ignore them. And the other tabs are simply for manual control over our 2-side Gatling guns. What we can do now while the sun is setting is just bring that back around once again. Ooh, yes, this is what the Skybox looks like, by the way, in case you haven't seen it before. It's just a massive asteroid ring, and it looks like we've lost our atmospheric effects. Although it might just be merging in with the Skybox. In fact, we'll drive around like this because it does look rather fancy. Yes, turning off the atmospheric thrusters, turning off our handbrake, we're now going to move forwards. This is the speed we get. We are very, very slow, and we are going to be struggling just a little bit to get some grip on this ice. So turning on the thrusters, this is what we get. We finally get our grip. We're going to start moving, and we're going to start charging ahead until we reach our maximum speed. Here we go, all the way forwards in first-person view. We've got some nice speed all the way around. We've got some fancy LCD screens in front of us, telling us our meters per second, the time of day, our hydrogen power usage, and of course our artificial horizon. Yes, you can see there we are capping out at about 40 meters per second, which is nice and safe for a rover. Not going to do anything risky. We're not going to run into any kind of invisible rocks at this speed, so we are perfectly safe. Yes, we can now turn off those atmospheric thrusters. We are going to start to slow down just a little bit, and we're going to come to a little stop. There we go. Yes, there's not too much else to talk about. It's very self-explanatory with what's going on. Got a nice sort of lights around this for the dark. Got a nice sort of stability with it. And you got some nice utility out of the ore detector and survival kit. Well, being the area I was going to wasn't a mountainside, we're going to have to try and do a backflip to end this video. So here we go. And one successful backflip. I was very surprised that was going to happen, and I'm not actually sure what got damaged there. I swear I saw the wheel suspension go flying, but we got all of our wheels on here. Let's just come to a complete stop. There we go. That was a sudden stop. Now we can just head out of here and come past this, open up the 2 doors, let all the oxygen out because who cares about that. And we'll take a better look at what's going on over here. So it looks like, I swear one of the wheel suspensions was gone. I'm not actually sure what happened. So there we go. It's a very mysterious rover that seems to be indestructible. Yes, anyway, that's enough of that. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download it and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do because it is a lovely little rover. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.